Going to start. All right, looks like we're live everywhere. We're on the tubes, we're on the Facebook. I'm going to be watching just the Facebook. I'm not really going to be reading the comments there, but I'm just going to talk. So let me talk a little bit about kind of what I'm doing with my channel and the other stuff I'm doing here. A few things of note. I definitely have gotten leaner. It's very, very blaringly obvious. Even clients are noticing it, other people, friends. Other coaches definitely messaging me about it. They're seeing the pictures and the videos up. I'm going to continue to chip away at getting leaner, finding the lower carb diets working extremely well. They'll probably, for my outreach, some probably will. But moving forward, I'm going to stick to, as far as my tubes go, most just the fitness stuff. I'm just going to do informative videos. I might occasionally do a live. I'm probably not going to engage with the audience. And essentially what that does, I've created a free speech zone, but I choose not to partake in it. I'm just not going to engage. I never had to before, by the way. You know, when my channel was at its biggest and my workout videos, I went back and looked. My training vlogs got 10,000 views. 10,000 views, even when I was training in gyms. I didn't engage with my audience. I didn't post in the comments. I didn't deal with stuff. I just did my stuff, put my content up, and I worked. So everything I do here is going to be cross-posted to Facebook also. I think most of you have realized my Facebook is my biggest platform. I'm still going to continue to do YouTube pretty much indefinitely. I don't see that changing. And I do feel like at this point, as I'm adjusting my training, keeping just a simple old school training, maybe it'll pick back up. And if it doesn't, not a big deal. It's still sending me clients. I've actually had an amazing January. Unlike last year, this January, I picked up a total of 6 clients. I did lose one of them, but I picked up 6 clients this January. So that's all working out great. But as far as the fitness content goes, I'm going to occasionally do some of the other off-topic stuff because I'm doing a lot of politics, a lot of political satire, a lot of memes, a lot of comedy. It's mostly what we're doing on the Facebook. And then obviously my fitness content goes there also. Putting it all on Instagram as well, but then it obviously is going to continue to go to the tubes. But I'm going to leave the YouTube because it's quite frankly, it's good for my algorithm. I've noticed a difference if I just leave the comments open, let everybody post whatever they want. No censorship. I don't have anybody blocked. As far as I know, I've deleted everything, gone through and manually deleted everything. Nobody is blocked. I've removed most of the filters. You just can't post links. People are free to say what they want. They're free to slam me. I'm not reading it. So if a lot of you were wanting me to see stuff, you're going to need to message me on my other social media. And that includes even other stuff. I've also removed the moderators because I'm not moderating anything. You guys are still cool. We're all bros. But since I'm not banning anyone, I'm not deleting any comments, we don't need any moderation. I'm turning it into a completely free speech zone. Let people say what they want to say, not a big deal. This doesn't bother me. Again, if anything, it just makes me money. And so I need to not be silly. Why restrict stuff that's just going to put money in my pocket? And you have to have that attitude. Same thing, I have a whole giant list of copyrights in my copyright tool. I'm going to ignore them. I have no intention of trying to ban any channels for now. I'm just letting it go. Just don't care. At this point, it's just free advertising. But as far as my take on the fitness world itself, I don't care. I'm probably going to diversify stuff again over time as I get into some of my other stuff again eventually. I may just rope all my other content into one place here and do some stuff on politics. Maybe when I start recording some pew stuff again, that might come up, more guitar stuff as I continue to get time to practice, get better. It's just going to be the Jason Blaha thing, Jason Blaha experience. But for now, I'm just going to keep it the fitness related. We're going to keep it simple. And the things that we have to consider is that, the fitness world is overcomplicated everything. I don't want to be part of the fitness world. I don't like it. I don't care for it. I'm tired of all the fake natty nonsense. I'm tired of all the garbage supplements, all the scams, all the fraud, selling apps with programming that's useless. Training was never that complicated. Guys, look how simple my training is right now. And look how I'm looking. Now, as I'm getting leaner, people are thinking I'm getting bigger. I'm not getting bigger, really. I'm just getting leaner. It really isn't that complicated. I'm probably going to focus on about 7 exercises. I'm just going to push really hard on progressive overload on them like I'm doing. Stuff like my squat, bench, deadlift, dips, pull-ups, barbell curls, maybe some ab work. Occasionally I'll throw in some of my pullovers and stuff and just run with it. Just get stronger and stronger at the rep work. Continue to do what I'm doing right now with the diet. What I'm doing with diet is very sustainable. I put up pictures of a bunch of the food. I'm starting to definitely getting leaner at this point. Whether someone hates me or loves me, no matter what you think of me as a person, it's overwhelmingly obvious to everybody I'm getting leaner. I can see it in the mirror. I can see it in my measurements. Everyone sees it. So what I'm doing is working. I'm just going to run with it. And I'm going to keep everything simple. And, if a lot of times people will say, well, it seems like this is all stuff that you were saying 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Yeah, because fitness hasn't changed, really, has it? I mean, outside of some studies, outside of some stuff on health and what we know about bulking, like the only real significant finding that I have seen in the research in the last 5 years, other than the health aspect of stuff, hey, we know alcohol kills you more than we thought it did, is that bulking doesn't really seem to matter. Gaining body fat isn't necessary in most cases to maximize muscle growth. Okay, that's pretty useful to know. But outside of that, which is, hey, great, if I want to do the leaner thing, it makes sense. But full body training works, simple programming works, basic progressive overload works. Stepping back and saying, hey, what's my weakest muscle group? That's the one I should maybe isolate. In my case, my biceps, right? Isolate your weakest muscle group, not a big deal. Fatigue management, programming. And it's going to be simple. And a lot of people will say, and I get this from other coaches, if you make things too simple, you don't get clients. And I'm like, I have clients who have simple programming I've had for 3, 4, 5 years. I have clients I've had on for 5 years who the only thing they ever do is full body or an upper lower. Full body 3-day-a-week or upper lower 4-day, and some of them do conjugate. That's it. Most of them, I keep their conjugate super simple. It's about accountability, fatigue management, helping them with their weak links. Again, keeping people accountable, of looking at stuff, figuring out why something's pulled or hurt, and keeping them in a flow so that they don't have to think about it. And that's the reality. Like for me as a coach, I'm not coaching guys who are struggling to make money, right? That's not who I'm coaching. I'm coaching guys who they can afford coaching, who don't have the mental energy because they have businesses and families and careers and other hobbies. They don't have time to sit down and think through all the programming and second guess it, sit and look at all their fatigue management. They hire me to do that. And when that's what you're doing as a coach, you don't have to sell complex programming. And you sure as hell don't need to sell a Renaissance periodization app, right? You don't need to sell any of it. It's simply not necessary. It's not necessary. But that's the problem with the industry as a whole. They've tried to sell complexity. Now it's instead of now all these garbage supplements they think you need, hey, here's my newest split. I have this upper lower push pull legs periodization program to where we add volume through every mesocycle and then take a week off. Really? Here's a tier list. We have 8 different bicep exercises. Are you serious? This is the state of the fitness world. It is a cesspool of BS. The whole thing is a cesspool of BS. And we don't need any of it. I don't want anything to do. I don't want to collab with any of these people. I am literally at a point with it where if a bigger name wanted to do a collab for fitness work and they're doing all that nonsense, I would just be like, hey, dude, I'm really not interested. I'm just going to put out good, simple content, keep everybody grounded in the basics, good nutrition, good basic programming, doing what we know works. Yeah, you want to keep up with the current data. That's never a bad thing. But we know what works. We know how to get people ready for bodybuilding shows and powerlifting meets and strongman events and all these other events. I have people who compete in a variety of stuff. I have a bunch of people who do BJJ right now. I have someone who does sprint kayaking at the national level. But we know how to get these people ready in the weight room, right? And so that's the message I'm going to continue to put out. And either it'll resonate with people or it won't. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal, because for me at this point, my YouTube is so far down my income source line. It's pretty much at the bottom of the list in terms of what I do. So it's not a big deal. And it still gets me clients at the end of the day. It still gets me clients. And so does the Facebook does now at this point too. So that's the reality of it. And that's the thing too. I've made a lot of my politics more clear because I'm tired of being silent about those things, the stuff I've discussed. And guess what? We know this in the modern world, the modern business world, people hire or do business with people whose politics align with them. We all know that. And that's exactly the trend I've seen with that. I lost one of my really serious liberal clients, and I picked up multiple conservative clients, police officers, veterans, so on and so forth, right? Because what I'm saying resonates with them more. And so again, I'm going to be vocal about those things. I'm going to give opinions. I'll probably do live streams where I discuss some of those things. And if people don't like it, that's okay. I don't care. Not a big deal. I'm not going to filter myself for the sake of pleasing an audience. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to speak my opinion on these matters. And yeah, I'm going to take sides. And if somebody doesn't like it, that's too bad. Too bad. I don't care. And if they like it, hey, great. Stick around. But I'm going to continue to be like I was 12 years ago before I had all this hate. Nobody hated me 12 years ago, by the way. There was no hate campaign, no trolls. There were like almost no negative comments in my videos. I'm just going to still be that guy again. I'm just going to go back and just put out the quality information. Stick to the basics. No BS. But again, so all my videos themselves is going to be that. I'm going to ignore the rest of the fitness world. Yes, I did the thing on Cali Muscle, right? I did the thing on Cali Muscle at the request of a longtime follower who's been messaging me for like a decade. His name is Jerry. He's been messaging me forever. He's actually a police officer. Does fitness instruction for cadets, actually, for police. But he kind of said that, hey, you really need to cover this. And I agreed because there's history there. He'd been on my death list. But by and large, I don't care about the fitness world. I don't want to watch it. I don't care about it. It's all nonsense. Again, it's all turned into glam and marketing instead of giving people just good, solid information. And everybody makes things more complex than is necessary, right? And it's not because they're smart. It's not because it's better. It's so that they can market and so they can come up with new stuff all the time. And people don't like that. They might be like, well, you rehash the same stuff, because fitness is fitness, right? The anatomy of a pectoral muscle didn't change last year. Okay. The effectiveness of a back squat as an exercise didn't change last year. It's been the king of exercise forever, right? It has been a really, really long time. None of that's changed. So really, unless there's convincing evidence of maybe something like, hey, gaining fat doesn't seem to help you gain muscle, unless it's stuff like that that's convincing, and a lot of people still did it that way anyway. It's not like everybody bulked and got fat. We saw that even in the bodybuilding world. My God, even Lee Haney in the 80s was pointing that out, of telling guys, you should be, within 10, 15 pounds of your Mr. Olympia weight. Even back then, he's like, you should still have a six-pack year round. You don't have to gain fat. He goes, it's unprofessional. And he had a point. So we saw that even in the anecdote. Plenty of guys were successful in staying, well under 15% body fat for decades. right? And still getting crazy jacked, still getting crazy strong. So outside of things like that change based upon data, but if we had looked at the anecdote, we would have known it was possible because plenty of those guys existed. We just choose to ignore them. And then, the data came around and says, hey, these guys are right. Those particular guys who were successful had it right. But barring things like that, we don't need all this. And so, yeah, information is going to be repeated. You might come through and be like, "Wow, you're still saying stuff that you were saying in 2012." Well, yeah, is it suddenly not true? Did the basics quit working? And the thing that I would point out, very few people need much more than the basics. Are you planning on being a professional bodybuilder or a full-time fitness model? Okay. If not, then you probably don't need more than the basics. Hell, the basics puts people at the world level in powerlifting. So even if we're talking strength, not saying don't throw in a little bit of stuff for fun or for some weak points, but by and large, the basics have always worked. So why should we change our information unless we're just using glam and flash and wow as salesmen to sell our information, to sell our channels, to sell our content instead of just being honest, right? That's why, again, all the fake natties, it's all just glam and lying. And the same thing with the programming and information they put out. Oh, really? If you do this cable isolation exercise where you push the cable up, it's the best upper chest exercise known to man. It's like, really, dude, like incline bench doesn't work amazingly well for that already. Telling me people didn't build ridiculously dense, chiseled, massive upper chest with an incline bench with barbells or dumbbells. They didn't do that for forever. Exactly. Right. So, and the ironic thing is all the people who are the most successful, even in this stuff, in terms of their results, still just focus on the basics. My God, look at Michael Hart. Fake natty. Fake natty. Who else looks like that in their 50s? And is that strong still? It's all just basics. He's just power building. Focus on the big barbell lifts and do your pump work. Basic nutrition. Eat clean. Lift heavy. Get stronger. Focus on basic exercises. Progressive overload. Don't overtrain. Use good form. And it's worked. It's worked insanely well for him. Right? Worked insanely well. So yeah, the nature of the channel is probably just what I'm going to do. And I don't know that I'll be doing interaction. So when I do live streams, I'm not going to be engaging the audience. A lot of people may not like that. Just choosing not to. Right? I'm choosing not to. But in return, and if anyone really needs to reach me, you guys can reach me on social media. If you have a really important question or you need to ask me about consultations or coaching, you guys all know how to reach me. You all know how to reach me. It's not difficult unless you're trying to hide your identity. In which case, then, that's a problem. So, but in the meantime, in exchange, there's no filtered content. I have literally turned my YouTube into a true free speech zone. So if you're getting anything removed, it's because you caught YouTube's AI and it hit your stuff because you violated some rule. It has nothing to do with me. I am not doing any censorship of any type on here. I have literally unblocked, to my knowledge. I think I've got everybody unblocked. The filters have been removed. I've turned everything off. Right? I've turned everything off so that unless you're trying to link something, it should let it through unless it's a violation of YouTube's actual policies. And they'll hit you for that. But I can't control that. Right? That's going to happen if you do that on anybody's channel. But yeah, pretty much what I'm going to do. We'll continue to get leaner. I'm going to continue to work on building my biceps up, getting stronger at all those basic lifts, and just run with it and just kind of stick to the basics. and enjoy what I'm doing. But you guys also go check me out on my Facebook if you're not there. I'm also streaming in there. But yeah, let me give you guys a bicep shot before we go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. All right, we're out.